Alright, I have no idea how the actual story behind this drawing came to be, but it was kind of fun. And honestly, it was about time for me to do a bit more fan art and start drawing other people's characters just to understand character design and a couple of other things like that. So yeah, I bring you Tracer because first person I wanted to draw from Overwatch was actually Tracer. Who knew? But I can't talk. The actual reason that this actually came to be was because the reference that I was drawing from to actually make this character, there was a lot of energy in the smile and the face in a whole, and because I was drawing a bust, I didn't have to do too much work. But because there was a lot of energy in the face, I actually decided to, as a joke, just put a bit of hair on the top of the head, obviously. And that hair kind of looked a bit like Tracer's hair. And then I added a little bit. I looked up how she usually looked. I looked up her character design and model sheet. And yeah, by the time it really looked like Tracer. So I just decided to go ahead and add on to it. I gave her the coat. I gave her the equipment on her jacket. I don't exactly know what all of this is, but yeah. And that's where this came from. So because of that, I actually wanted to break out my inking brush and do a specific type of line work and a little bit of ink wash throughout the piece, because I actually never really did that. And once I started doing that a little bit more, I came to realize that it worked a lot better to show off the underside of skin. The way I explain it is these slight darknesses and dark hues on the skin are there, but because we have skin color, or at least because you have skin color on a drawing, you won't really be able to see it too much. But as you're seeing now, I actually added that, and I added it to the hair as well as the jacket too. And it's supposed to blend in by the end of everything. And it's also supposed to work as a standalone. So if I were to, like I did earlier in this video, I actually took pictures of the inking stage, and I decided to just keep it like that for a little bit. I liked how the wash turned out. It wasn't too gray, but it wasn't too light as well. It was just right, and I think that's where water came in. So now I actually have her reference on my phone pulled up already, and I'm just trying to match the skin as best as I can. I ended up using pink rose with a little bit of orange and just a slight tinge of yellow to work that out. And I actually added a bit more brown to it to darken it a little bit I wanted to darken it in the dark areas where I added the ink wash. And right now, because everything is a little bit too wet, it doesn't look as best as it could be. But that's where I added the red. And I'm just working on the mouth. I'm pretty sure I didn't color the lips right. Now, in retrospect, I'm not even too sure where the lips would have been. I mean, what color the lips would have been in the first place. But that little pink with a bit of skin tone in the lips worked for me. Oh yeah, so adding the browns, I wasn't too sure how I wanted to do that, but I wanted to use the raw sienna, which is that orange brown that you see. I wasn't able to use it as much, but because her hair is actually dark brown, it made sense to add a bit of black to the light sienna to make something that is just a little darker, but is just a little lighter than the standard brown that I had in my watercolor set. And I'm pretty sure it worked. Tell me what you think in the comments below, because I like it. And I kind of failed here with the white paint. I wanted to add a highlight to the hair because I was tracing back the light source. namesake. Wasn't too sure if I really got it right at the first time I did it. In retrospect, I didn't. And then with the back, with these two back splotches of white, it didn't really work as well as I wanted it to. But I kept going, and I honestly should have covered it up, but it's there now. It won't be as big of a problem as I think it is, honestly. Coloring the inside of the coat was actually difficult. I thought it was actually going to be a little easier than the outside of the coat because there was only one shade of brown that I needed for the inside of the coat, but it was so hard to find that. So that took up more of the time in trying to color it than it actually took to color. It took more time to find the color to color with than it did to actually color it. So in the end, it wasn't that easy. So I kind of psyched myself out like that. But adding on to the ink wash as well as the overall coat, the ink wash here is going to be on the right side. It matched up the way I wanted it to, and I'm glad it did because I did not want to have to go over that again. And luckily I didn't have to, but I ended up doing it anyway just because me overworking stuff is good. Mostly, not really. Now I'm just adding in blacks with just black India ink, adding on to the black straps, and I'm pretty sure the connectors latches, that's what it is, latches are supposed to be gray, but I ended up darkening them just a little bit later on in the video, but I'm pretty sure that worked just a little bit better. And here is where I really think I lost a little bit of focus with the light. Adding the yellow ochre to the inside of the coat was probably the better idea, and I think I should have did that first. But you know, I just didn't because I didn't think about it. Honestly, it was an odd time trying to figure out all these colors. Her color sheet, her model sheet had all the colors that I needed, but I still had to make them. So that was a slight problem. And then because she had her visor on, it was a bit difficult to get her eye color. Her eye color is brown, I think. I hope my information was right. And filling in the whites of her eyes was a bit fun, and I just had to go over it with my line, with my pens, which was not too difficult. But in the end, I really wish I did add her visor because I wanted to use orange for this entire piece, somewhere at least, but I didn't. So that's where that went. That's unfortunate, but I still liked it. So now, instead of using orange, which actually would have balanced the color, I actually used the blue, which is the color of her teleportation ability, warp ability. It's been a while since I've actually paid attention to the game. It's probably different now, but I used the blue background, and this was the cerulean blue, I believe so. And I made the little speed streak going zigzaggy and everything like that. That was one of the main things I wanted to add into the picture that I'm glad I did, and it turned out better than I thought. Using a flat brush was probably the right move to fill out the entire background. Again, it turned out better than I thought, and I'm just glad I didn't mess it up. And I easily could have, because all the water I was using to run everything down, that easily could have just fallen onto her coat and messed up everything. But it didn't. Or at least it didn't, now that I'm looking at it. Because I kind of got a little frightened at that. But again, it didn't. It worked. So yeah. and filling that in. I'm pretty sure this is more or less it for now. But, oh yeah, there was some rough patches around, so I had to smooth all those out. Well, I think that's it for now then. All right. So, pencil sketch, as usual, turned out very well. Or at least as well as it could have been, because I could have messed it up easily. The ink wash, again, I like the ink wash a little bit better than the finished piece, but the finished piece is just as good, and I really like it as well. I added a little bit onto it afterwards and all that good stuff. But yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think of the video in the comments below. Until then, I'll catch you all later.